right, guys and gals, this is Blake Morrow, and you are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. I'm going to catch you guys right at the beginning, so I don't have to mention this at the end. If you have not registered for the Trader Summit, make sure you do so. I know. Those of you that are listening in, I'm sure you have. Even if you can't be there for both days, or you have something going on, make sure you register, because this way you can get the recordings. Make sure you also put in your correct email address. And I'm going to ask you guys for a favor, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening after the fact. If you can find my Twitter feed or ForexAnalytix Twitter feed and tweet out the information to your followers, excuse me, for those of you that are on Twitter, I'd really appreciate it, because everybody should be able to listen to this. I mean, everybody should be able to listen to all these speakers and what they have to say about the current environment. And it's free. It doesn't cost anybody anything except some time, and it's going to be a good event. All right, so I'm done with that. Let's talk about the market. So the markets are up right now. What really spurred the equity market rally, and by the way, we are testing some very key resistance, if you can't tell. And I want to pay a little closer attention to this, because if we hold today's highs, which I have to give a shout out to Paulie. Paulie was like, resistance is going to be right here at 28.39, I think is what he said. That's the underside of the trend line. That's also the high from back here on the 15th. But if we can hold this, then we're going to be developing, if we can hold this high, that's an if, right? We're going to be developing some sort of, head and shoulder pattern. At least the potential for, not necessarily it will happen. I'm just saying the potential for. Plus, challenging the underside of this trend line is pretty big. There's a 618 retracement right there, previous highs from over here. So we might reach a little higher, but I'd be pretty careful with it. Now, also, and so Paulie did a great job. He called that way earlier this morning. In our chat room, I was paying attention to what was happening in the euro, and then Amanda, she brought up the euro pound. She's like, respecting the 78% retracement. This is down here. This is way early this morning. I'm talking 6 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Eastern. Is probably around 3-4 o'clock in the morning my time. I mean, I literally just got up, and I was in the chat room, and I heard her mention that. We dipped a little bit further, and I turned around and I went long the euro pound at 25. So I'm long the euro pound. Then we had this nice 4-hour candle, and as long as we don't hit new lows, I plan on keeping it. But what I'm gonna try to do here is, if we can break above this resistance, which is roughly 87.60, I might actually add to it. Now, if you want to know why I want to be along the euro pound, well, first of all, there's a couple reasons. But the first reason is, if you go to the daily chart, you'll notice that we're back above the 200-day moving average. So as long as we can close above that, I'm not opposed to holding a long euro pound trade. Okay. So another thing is, I should probably, let's see if I can pull it up here. Let me grab this stuff here. Okay, so this is from the FT, so you can kind of read this. This is the Euro Group Summit's happening right now. They do expect it to go on all night, and this is a little briefing that I had on them. But later on this afternoon or late tonight, we might get some news from the Euro Group and their COVID-19 response for the Eurozone economy. I'm not expecting fireworks, but that doesn't mean that fireworks can't happen. But in if you're like, well, is that going to be Euro bullish or Euro bearish? I could actually argue both points. Now, you could say, well, Well, how about if it disappoints? Well, if it disappoints, does the euro go down or does it go up? Uh, Here's where I can argue both points. If it's good for the market likes it, the euro might strengthen as a result. But if it disappoints the market, could the euro go up? Yeah, my assumption is, yeah. I mean, maybe the market looks at um, the government's not providing as much fiscal support. It might be worse for the eurozone economy, but they're spending less and putting less liquidity in the market. So maybe that actually strengthens the euro. So again, I don't know how the euro is going to react, but I think I know how stocks are going to react. And if it does disappoint the market, then the S&P and global equity markets will probably come under pressure. So typically what we've seen is if we see stocks go down, then the dollar is going to strengthen. Today's been a little bit of you know, a little weirder situation because there's been a few things that have influenced the market. One of them being like the BOJ uh, going to talk about unlimited bond purchases, but I got to stop. I got to stop that for a second. Let's talk about that for a second. Isn't that what the BOJ does? Doesn't the BOJ just offer unlimited bond buying anyway? I mean, they've been doing that for like 20 years. So what's the difference? So when the euro when the or excuse me when the dollar yen squeezed higher, I was like, yeah, that's probably going to fail at 108, even though I didn't short it because I was more worried about stocks creaming higher and then it eventually breaking out. Technically, I should have shorted it there. Technically, I should have shorted it at 108. I knew it was resistance. If you have ForexAnalytix, you even got the analysis when it got to 108, it was coming off at 107.85. I mean, that was a layup short, technically. Fundamentally, it didn't really make as much sense to me, or I was more worried about a correlation taking hold and didn't do it. But obviously, hindsight, it's like, oh, I should have faded it there. But when things are happening at the moment, it's not always as easy as just clicking the button and hitting buy or sell, right? But I did know that this was key resistance. We've been talking about the 107 to 108 range for so long. If you go back to this analysis, I mean, you look at like the daily analysis remains the same once again. No change in the end of day analysis. Dollar yen firming towards the 108 level where stops may reside. If you're sure, you got to be careful with the double bottom forming at 107 setting up. But we've really been in this 107 to 108 range, and we've been talking about it for so many days. It's like, okay, I don't want to get excited unless we start popping in or out of here. So, that's what happened with the dollar yen. So between that and the euro just squeezing the hell out of everybody, the market got short, and then we reversed. I had one guy on Twitter who used to be part of Forex Flow, FX Flow, Forex Live. No, not used to be part of. I think I ruffled his feathers a little bit because he probably was short, and then I'm like, I'll watch the squeeze, and then it squeezed, and he's talking to me like, oh, it's so short term. It's like, well, that's how I trade the market. He's like, well, maybe you should have a longer term view. It's like, but that's how I trade the market. It's interesting when people try to give you, advice on how you should trade. I really poo-poo on that because as you guys have heard me many a times, there are 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and my way is no better than your way, or vice versa. My charts are no better than your charts. My indicators are no better than your indicators. But it's how you use everything based on the time frame that you're using. So when people tell me, well, hey, I shouldn't do anything. I should do whatever the hell I want to do. It's how I make money in the market, how I view the market. You could be a long-term euro bear and you've been short since 130, and that's fine. That doesn't mean you're going to be right every day. Or if I'm short term and I say that the euro is going to squeeze, that doesn't make somebody who's long term bearish euro the wrong, wrong. Nor do I point that out and say you're an idiot or you should be doing things a certain way. I really disagree with that, because as if you guys, if you're in the chat room, and let me just pull up the Forex Traders chat room here real quick. There's so many different types of traders in here. So many different types of traders. Paulie's typically a scalper. That's why Paulie doesn't put a lot of intraday he doesn't put on a lot of patterns in play in Forex Analytics, because the stuff is so short term. But that's how he makes money. I do a little bit of mix of both, and every trader trades a little bit differently, and it's important for you to understand, what point of view a trader is coming from, because I could be long-term bullish the dollar, but wrong for days in a row because it's not going in the right direction. Anyway, I just got on a little bit of a rant, but yeah, I had somebody, I followed him for a long time on Twitter too. He said that to me, and I'm like, who are you to tell me how I should trade and how I should look at the market? I'll look at the market however hell I want to look at the market. And what I knew is that everybody was probably caught short in European trade below 108 in the euro because everybody got bearish yesterday and they got squeezed. Bottom line. Same with the euro yen. I actually went long the euro yen twice. Everybody was short euro yen below 116. That was a hell of a squeeze. I'm not long or short right now. I don't have any opinion on it now. I still think the risk is lower, but hey, we break above 117 and we're going higher, right? So anyway, that's my spiel. That's it. Remember, sign up for the Trader Summit, and if you guys aren't ForexAnalytix subscribers and you haven't tried us out already, it's only $1 for 10 days. And I'm talking about those of you that are listening in tomorrow morning, once the recording goes live. You guys have a great one. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and good luck. Oh, tomorrow we don't have the Daily Roundup because today's Thursday. Come on Friday. All right, we'll see you guys. Have a good one.